What is the best way to bring your body fat levels to a lower, to lower them basically? Is it what do you have to eliminate something from your diet, or is it just do more cardio? What do you think is the one key thing you have to do?
I think it always depends on the individual. I think you got to look at the individual at first. And I think if someone's coming to me, if general public is saying, what do I do? Do I do cardio? Do I do weight training? I think you need a combination. And, so let's start with resistance training. I do believe that resistance training raises your basal metabolic rate, which means at rest, you're going to burn more fat calories through resistance training.
Like a workout, basically.
Yeah. So like going in and lifting weights, like I feel like that's important. Now, I think there's a much smarter way to lift weights nowadays where you could still do your heavy benching and your heavy squatting, but I think it all depends on the individual. And I think it all depends on how someone's moving. So a good coach is going to be able to look at that person and say, you know what, back squats may not be for you because you have no ankle dorsiflexion, but we can get a bar up in the rack position and do front squats, and we're going to be able to achieve what you want to achieve. So I think from a resistance training standpoint, that's something that's very overlooked by general pop, because everyone's always talking about, well, I want to cut, I'm going to do cardio first and I'm going to prepare and then I'll get into this. And I'm like, no, you need both. Then what type of cardiovascular training? For big bodybuilders who, HIIT style of training is going to be, let's just say, could be potentially dangerous for that type of frame moving around. Yeah, that's why you see a lot of these bodybuilders do slow, steady state cardio. But I do believe that, yeah, slow walking, heart rate anywhere from 120 to 150, minimum 30 minutes. I think that's pretty common what you see in the bodybuilding world. But I also believe that for someone like myself who's trying to stay athletic and trying to move, that rotating between HIIT training, medium state intervals, which would be like, in my eyes, like your 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 1 minute
That's
on.
Fast, slow, right?
Fast, slow. But that's more medium intensity, and I'll explain high intensity in a second, and then your steady state. So I feel like someone like myself or someone out there who's trying to live long and have low body fat and be energetic and be strong, I think if you rotate those three forms of cardio and you don't overdo it and you listen to your body, I think you can take your body fat percentage pretty low. There's other monitors out there nowadays that are measuring readiness that can actually determine based off of your central nervous system where you need to be training that day. But that stuff gets technical. And then obviously there's that diet and rest component, which are two of the most important. And the diet, I mean, we all metabolize food so much differently. I'm really good on high carbohydrates. When I prep for the Cover of Muscle, I did that on 300 grams of carbs a day, 275 grams of protein, and 90 grams of fat. And I lost, I think I lost 10 pounds in my 5-week prep, which is all I had. People were like, how'd you do it on 300 grams of carbs? Because I was up at 450 to 500 grams of carbs, and my fat was at 125. So I was in a deficit, but my body was burning so efficiently that when I restricted some of my macronutrients, my body it just got diced up. So that's kind of what I try and teach, rather than putting people through this yo-yo style of dieting and this yo-yo style of training where they're just feeling like complete shit. I want them that night to be able to go play a hockey game after they shoot a cover, which is what I ended up doing.
Right. So what about, some people preach, some people out there in the fitness industry, they eat 1 time a day. It's like a certain style, like once a day. Sometimes 2 times a day.
They do intermittent fasting. I know John Berardi. I just spoke with John.
Mike Rashid is doing that too.
Yeah, it's funny. Rashid I actually met at the Olympia. I think he was down there. He's the boxer, right?
He's a fitness personality, and is also he's a bodybuilder too, and a boxer as well.
Yeah, definitely. I met him. He's a nice guy.
But he eats 1 time a day, sometimes maximum 2.
Yeah.
And then some people like 6, 7 times. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think is the right approach?
I think most people getting to that point where Mike's at, or
when you're already advanced, right?
Yeah, when you're advanced, you already have this muscle, you already have this foundation, and I think you start learning how your body looks. But if I have a young person coming into me who's 18 years old, I'm not restricting their calories. I'm trying to get them to consume more calories, and I want them to be good calories because I want that to be good fuel for the car. So, I understand what Mike's saying and Berardi's saying. Berardi's one of the most brilliant nutritionists on the planet. That works for them. But for someone trying to put on lean muscle mass, it's pretty difficult to get the amount of macronutrients that you need in during a day through 1 or 2 meals. Think about that. Like if I'm, like I just had how many calories I burn at rest every day. I think I'm burning right now like 2,400. So I was sitting in this chair today, I'd probably burn 2,400 calories. So for me to be in a caloric influx to gain some muscle, I would have to consume more than that on top of training. Right. For me to do that in one meal a day, and for it to be good
cooked, very tough, yeah.
That's very tough to get chicken, rice, and broccoli down at 2,600 calories. You follow me? So yeah, so the purpose of splitting it up is just to make that digestion process a lot less painful. And we split it out during the day so we can be a little bit more strategic on when we're laying those calories down. 500 meal 1, 500 meal 2, 500, we did 6 meals, that's 3,000 calories. So it just becomes a little bit of a smarter way for us to be able to consume, digest, and build without feeling like we're gonna vomit every meal.